I spent most of the day Saturday in the seat of the tractor. Started off by mowing the creek field food plot. Mowing the creek field was not very bad this time. We had waited until the beginning of June until the fawns were moving before we made our first cut. That way we avoided any of the fawns that may have been laying still in the field itself. This area did not take us very long to mow since it's a little over a third of an acre and fairly flat. We put the finishing touches on the creek field, and once that was completed, we headed up, making a little bit better trail going up to the easement on the western south part of the property. This area wasn't nearly as bad also, since it had been knocked down when we had done the first bush hogging a couple months ago. We ended up bush hogging the platform area. This area again wasn't quite as difficult since we had bush hogged it about 2 months before. It did take us quite a bit longer to mow this area compared to the creek field, since this area was a little over 2 acres that we had to mow. Although it took us a little bit longer and the sun was beating down on us, it turned out fairly decent. After we finished up the platform area, we consumed most of the day bush hogging along the easement. This area hasn't been touched since last year, and the growth was fairly substantial. The brush had really significantly overgrown, and it took us a little bit longer since this area is very hilly with a lot of small ravines that are running perpendicular to this trail that we made, which is close to the south border of the property. We made our turn at this point where we were heading back up to a site in the woods where we have a nice climber stand. This was quick to do, and then we were heading back, going to the west to make another run to widen this trail just a little bit. We were trying not to go too far over to the right side, since this is the area that would really drop off in some of the smaller ravines. Our neighbor's property is just to the left side with those woods, and our woods are right over to the right side as we're moving west along through here. We took down an awful lot of wild raspberries as we were moving through, as well as some formidable weeds. We made a brief little detour to head back towards the trail to Big Rack, since I needed to use the front end loader to move a rather heavy log that was partially blocking the trail on the right side. A couple weeks ago, we had gone along a trail that we hadn't used in probably almost 2 years. This was a trail that is on the east area to the south pond leading up to the easement. This parallels the border of the woods as well as a fence line, and it was very difficult to even make out where the trail existed compared to the fence line and where it dropped off to the right side. Once we dealt with that pesky log on the trail down to Big Rack, we backed up to clear a little bit more of a path to one of our blinds on the edge of the woods. We went ahead and started clearing a little bit more of a path on the easement before tackling a second swipe going along that east trail along the side of the pond. This area was actually fairly thick with some fairly thick trees. It turned out fairly decent, and we're able to navigate this trail easily now in the side-by-side. I'm still contemplating whether we should clear a little bit more area to the right side to make this a little bit wider. However, this drops off a little bit steeper going down to the pond. We will be able to probably clear this area off to the right side, as well as a little bit more of the thick brambles on this part of the easement as we approach the trail going down to the Big Rack blind.